Are you looking for a tactic that can help you to get the very best out of your teams in Football Manager 2023? In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing a tactic that I think can help you out. Here we go then. I'm very pleased to introduce to you the F84 Broken Point. This is a tactic I've been working on for some time now, constantly tweaking and tinkering, trying to get the setup just right. So if you download it and plug and play with your save game, hopefully we'll get the best out of your teams too. In today's video, I've tested it with 3 teams that are not expected to be title contenders, and I want to show you the effects that it's had on their seasons. I'm also about to break the tactic down. I'm going to show you the positions, the in possession, the in transition, and the out of possession. So let's start off by looking at some positions then. Starting off at the back, you'll have a sweeper keeper set to attack. On the left hand side, a wing back set to attack. 2 ball playing defenders. And on the right hand side, another wing back set to attack. You have a deep line playmaker set to support. On the left, a winger set to support. And another one on the right set to support. Moving up the pitch, you have an attacking midfielder set to support. A shadow striker set to attack. And at the top of the pitch, an advanced forward set to attack. So the tactic basically is a 4-5-1. It could also be a 4-3-2-1, however you want to work it. Its tactical style is a custom Gegenpress. Its mentality is attacking. Its in possession will look like this. So its attacking width is fairly wide. Its approach play is passing to space. It plays out from defence. Its tempo is higher. Its final third is work the ball into the box. And for the dribbling, it's run at defence. For the in transition, when possession has been lost, it's counter press. When possession has been won, it's counter. For the distribute to area and player, it's out to the fullbacks. For distribution type, it's throw it long. For the out of possession, it's high press for the line of engagement. It's higher for the defensive line. Its trigger press is much more often with prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Its tackling is get stuck in. So that's the tactic. Those are the positions and the 3 categories on the side. If you want to download this tactic and have a tinker about with it, there will be a link in the description down below. Before I break down the results, just a quick thing of note. The results you're about to see have all been obtained by putting all of the teams on a single season holiday sim, and they were involved in no transfers whatsoever. All of the results were obtained by using the original squads. Right, we're going to kick things off out in Italy. We're looking at Fiorentina, and we can see straight away that they have won Serie A. When we break their season down, they've played 38 games. They won 27. They drew 6, lost 5, scored 90, conceded 45, which gave them a 45 goal difference, and they finished on 87 points. Now that's quite impressive. They weren't expected to be in a title battle, but they actually ended up winning the league by 8 points from Lazio, and they finished 13 points clear of Inter Milan. If we look at the competitions tab, we can see their Serie A win over on the left hand side, but they also played in the UEFA Europa Conference League. They finished runners up in that competition, and they played in the Coppa Italia Coca-Cola, but they were knocked out in the 3rd round by Pisa. If we go into the data hub, we can see in the zoomed out view, when we look for them in terms of their league position, they actually finished in 1st place. For their X points position, they finished in 5th. For their XG, 75.5 was plus 14. Their XGA was 47.5, which was minus 2. If we go into their team attacking, it says we are performing well above average in attacking statistics, which is great to see. They score a high number of expected goals per 90 minutes compared to average, and they complete a relatively average percent of passes. If you want to break down the rest of those stats, feel free to pause the video. I'm going to move on to the defensive side of the game. And looking at that defending, we can see we are performing pretty close to average in defensive statistics. They make a high number of interceptions per 90 minutes compared to average, and make fewer clearances per 90 minutes than average. Again, if you want to break down the rest of those stats, feel free to pause the video. Right then, that is Fiorentina wrapped up. They have won Serie A. They have finished runners-up in the Conference League, and they got knocked out in the 3rd round by Pisa in the Coppa Italia. Next up, we have moved to England. We are looking at Brighton, who play in the Premier League, and that is probably one of the toughest leagues in the game to crack. Looking at Brighton's performance, though, they have finished in 4th place. They qualified for the Champions League. Breaking down their campaign, they played 38 games. They won 22, drew 8, lost 8, scored 78, conceded 46, had a goal difference of 32, and they finished on 74 points. Now, that was 15 points behind Manchester City, who were well far away, but they finished 6 points behind Manchester United, who finished in 3rd, and only 9 points behind Liverpool, who finished in 2nd. If we look at the competitions tab for the rest of the competitions, in terms of the FA Cup, they were knocked out in the quarter-finals by Manchester City, and they were knocked out in the 4th round by Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Carabao Cup. If we go into the data hub, we can find that they finished 4th. Their X points per position was 4th. They had 75.2 for XG, which was +2. 58.1 for XGA, which is -12. If we look at their team attacking, we're performing well above average in attacking statistics, which is great to see. Attempts a high number of dribbles per 90 minutes compared to average, and completes a relatively average percentage of passes. Again, if you want to break down all of these stats, don't forget to pause the video. Moving on to the defending, we're performing pretty close to average in defensive statistics. Attempts a high number of tackles per 90 minutes compared to average, and fouls well above average per 90 minutes. Again, if you want to break those stats down, feel free to pause the video. So, in a league that is really, really tough, we have had Brighton finish in 4th place and not a million miles behind the teams above them. They also got through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup and the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. The final team that we used in this tactic test was Real Betis. They play in Spain, so we are looking at La Liga. If we break down their 38 game campaign, we can see that they played 38, won 25, drew 4, lost 9, scored 91, which was a league high, did concede 56, which is much more than the teams around them. They had a 35 goal difference and finished on 79 points. That left them 5 points behind Barcelona, and it left them 17 points behind Real Madrid, who won the league. If we go to the competitions tab, we can see that they played in the Europa League, and they were knocked out in the round of 16 by RB Leipzig. In the Copa del Rey, they were knocked out in the 4th round by Almeria, and they managed to win the Supercopa de España. If we go to the data hub, we can see in the zoomed out view that they finished in 3rd place, but their X points per position was 4th. They had an 81.3 XG, a 47 XGA, and that was +8. In terms of team attacking stats, performing well above average in attacking statistics, which is great to see. Scores a high number of expected goals per 90 minutes compared to average. Completes a relatively average percentage of passes. If you want to pause the video to see the rest of the stats, feel free to do so. Moving on to team defending, we're performing below average in defensive statistics. They make a relatively average number of interceptions per 90 minutes, and they foul well above average per 90 minutes. So this is a tactic that you might actually, at some points, need to tell your defenders to kind of calm down and step off of those tackles. Again, if you want to see the rest of those stats, feel free to pause the video. So, going back to the competitions page then, we find Betis in 3rd place. We have had Fiorentina win Serie A, and we have had Brighton qualify for the Champions League in England. Overall, I think it's an impressive tactic. If you want to download it and let me know how it gets on, feel free. There is a link in the description down below. Right then, at this point of the video, if you're still with me, firstly, a big thank you. Secondly, if you don't mind hitting that like and subscribe button to help the channel. It's been really fantastic the past couple of months watching the channel grow, seeing all the interaction coming from people like yourself who are watching the video. It really has been brilliant. Before you go, don't forget, also on the channel, we have other tactic testers, including some non-league. We have Wonder Kids, hints, tips, tutorials, rebuilds, a little bit of something for everybody on the channel. But for this one, I'm going to wrap it up there. Big thank you for watching. I'll see you on another video soon.